oh 06 to the good bros. What's up to all my brothers out there of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated? The biggest, the baddest, the boldest, the coldest. Good to see y'all, man. Thanks for tuning in this edition of MAAC Offline, where we take you deep inside the mighty MAAC, Mid-Atlantic Association of Alpha Chapters. And we got new leadership. And today I want to take some time out to introduce them to you and let you get to know who they are. So first up, your new MAAC Alumni President, Brother Raymond Hawkins Jr. from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, New Kappa Chapter, key number 473. And also the MAAC Alumni Vice President, Mtokufa Ngwenya from the IC Iota Zeta Chapter at University of Maryland, College Park. Good to see you, fellas. What's good with you?
Hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you too.
Oh,
What's
man.
good, brother? What's good? What's good? You could have added the 403 for our key number 2. That's okay.
403?
403.
Oh, man. I'm sorry I left that out, man. Yeah, man, to both of you, congratulations, first off. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On these positions. But let's take it back to the beginning. We're all on this path. We're all in the same organization, and we're in the same organization, and yet and still it means different things to different people. So, by way of introduction, I need you to tell me your story.
My story. So I born and raised in Washington, D.C. I guess you could say I was born and raised in the MAAC. Didn't even know it, but grew up on Montana Avenue, Northeast. We lived there throughout the 80s. Definitely part of the mayor, the Mayor for Life administration. And, just like most folks in the D.C. area, we all moved out to Prince George's County, I would say, around the age of about 7, 8 years old. So although we lived in the county, I was still going to school in D.C. for quite some time. And so transitioning into PG County Public Schools was different, a lot of culture shock. I was in a tag program, so I was in a school for kids that didn't look like me at all. The culture was different. The lessons were different, everything, a totally different experience. And so that followed me throughout, middle school and high school. And, I went to Eleanor Roosevelt for high school, and that was more of a culture that I was familiar with, I'll say. And, through Roosevelt athletic program, I ran track and got a 4 scholarship to UMBC. The coach there was an alpha, David Bob, and one of the team captains at the time, I believe, ended up becoming my dean, and he was a big influence because I came in, a state champion, so I had a chip on my shoulders, and with the school in track and field, UMBC at the time was relatively small in the sport, I would say, and so coming into it, I thought I'd probably spend a year or 2 at the school and then transfer out to a bigger school, and I didn't take academics seriously. I looked at school as just like a track clinic, if you will, for the majority of my college career. And as I said before, one of the fellows on the track team, he was from the same area I was from Washington, D.C. He had a chip on his shoulder too. We both thought we were, big shit on the campus or whatever. I'll never forget one day in practice, we just had it out for each other, and we're racing competitively in practice to the point where, for anyone who's ever ran track and field, they know the 200-meter dash. Typically, in competition, you run times of like 20 seconds, if you will. And we were in practice running 21-second intervals of the 200 because we were that competitive with each other.
Yeah,
pushing each other, but barely knew each other, from anything. And so I pulled him to the side, hey man, where you from? What's up with you? You got a problem with me or something? And we got to know each other through this competitive bond. And come to find out, he was joining Alpha at the time. I didn't.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
while you're running.
While we were training, yeah, he was going through the process, and I didn't know it until one night. I'm in my dorm room with one of my teammates, and I get this letter in the door, like, come out to the library at like 7:06 p.m. And I'm like, well, why the 06 p.m.? I don't even know what that means. But I asked my other teammates, did they get the same letter? None of them did. And so I'm like, well, I want somebody to come with me because I don't go nowhere alone. You know, coming from DC, you just got paranoid about things like that. You have paranoia about things like that. So I got a couple of my teammates to go with me, and we get out there. It's like a sea of people I've never seen before, and I don't know what's going on. And you know, everyone's just out talking amongst each other, looking up, whispering something. I couldn't even make it out at the time. I was too green to any of this. But oh, by the way, you know, at this point, you know, I'm a first generation college student.
Okay.
And had no familiarity with Greek life whatsoever. So I don't know what's going on. And so, you know, then a group of men come out marching from around the corner of the library, and I'm watching them like, all right, so what is that? You know, and they march to the middle of the floor in front of all these guys, all these folks, and like 4 of them run off to the side, and it's just one man in the middle of the campus in front of the library. And everyone's watching, and everyone's dead quiet. They pull off his mask before he starts to greet, and I recognize my teammate.
Oh.
And so I'm like, yo, yes, the one that was competing against me in practice. I'm like, yo, that's my man. Hey, but so I'm ready to yell out to him, and I'm getting nudged and bumped. Like, hey, no, shh. Like, what are y'all talking about? That's my man right there. Hey, I don't know what's going on.
Still calling out to him.
Yeah, I'm still calling out to him. And somebody pulled me to the side like, listen, show, you just got to watch and observe and just watch what happens. So, all right, whatever. So I'm now watching this thing, and I'm watching him just, you know, recite all this information, and he's got the crowd moving, and it's almost like a concert. Like he has a flow and a presentation to what he's doing. At the time, I was a DJ, so I was familiar with how to command the crowd and keep him engaged and all this kind of stuff. So he had a real good stage presence about him. And I'd never seen that side of him in practice.
Okay.
So after all of this, I'm kind of intrigued at this point. And, you know, so the show is over, he runs off, and, you know, we don't see him again for like another day or two. And so the next couple of days, you know, I'm just wondering, like, what was that? And what is it all about? And so I'm asking folks on campus who were there that night. And they're like, oh, yeah, you never heard of the Alphas from the Kappa, this and that. And this is all starting to resonate with me because they're very selective and they're the most respected, right? So I was like, okay, well, this is where that's my lane. You know, it's right up my alley. And so after this point, I'm starting to seek the fraternity out. And of course, I'm told to go do my research. My teammate that I mentioned to you, you know, the second I see him back in practice, I'm like, yo, listen, I'm trying to do the exact same thing. I don't care what I got to do. Let me do that.
Right.
You know, having no clue of how this whole thing works. He's like, all right, first of all, let me tell you, you need to slow down. I want you to go do some research, go online. At this point, you know, the internet is still fairly new, 2001. So, you know, everybody's not really bubbling on the internet. It's like, you know, go online. It was this book, African American fraternities and sororities. I forget the.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but so that's the book he has me reading. So I'm reading all this stuff, and I'm ready. I'm all in at this point. By the time I finish this book, and I read about every organization, man, because I didn't want to just be, you know, secluded to just one after you know, get this information, and I was sold. I mean, just the amount of research I did. I did more at that point in my life. I had done more research into Alpha than I did any college course.
I
had taken at the time.